Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Got a special guest on the phone now. I'll let Luke introduce him.
I'm really excited about this. This guy was at Alabama the exact same time I was. I got to see him up close and personal several times, go to a lot of games with this guy. He was an absolute superstar, one of my favorite players of all time, David the Deuce Palmer. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Thanks so much for being with us. First and foremost, I got to talk about your playing days at Alabama. When you signed with Alabama, it was really just a fantastic day. I was one of the few recruitniks that I knew back then, and I knew your signature was such a big deal. And just watching you play was a joy, and I really did enjoy your time there. Talk about some of the great memories you have from Alabama, your years there at the Capstone.
Man, there's so many memories down there that I had down there. Got a chance to do a lot of things. Got a chance to play almost every position I played in high school. So it was it felt so wonderful to me that I was able to still do the same things I was able to do in high school. The only thing I didn't get a chance to do was play on the defensive side. But if I'd have stayed my last year, I think Coach Stallings would have allowed me to play defensive back.
Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about what if I had stayed just one more year? Because that team after you left was undefeated and only lost by 1 point to Florida in the SEC title game. You might have been the difference.
Yes, me and the guys that I came in with, that was my senior class. Me and the guys I came in with, we talk about it all the time. Actually, we talk about it, and we thought we would have been a two-time champion if I'd have stayed my senior year.
They're showing some highlights right now as we're talking, and maybe the game people remember you most for is your performance against Tennessee. Ironically, it just led to a tie, which is generally a forgettable thing. But at the time, tying Tennessee and keeping that undefeated streak against them was something great.
Yes, it was. At that time, the rivalry between Alabama and Tennessee was just like Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I'll tell you, look, these highlights that we're watching are great, a lot of big-time punt returns, et cetera. But I tell people that if they ever get a chance to see your highlights from Jackson Olin, that might have been the best highlight tape I have ever seen from a high school player.
Oh, you got a chance to see my high school highlight tape?
Oh, I remember it well. I remember when you committed, and Rick Carley, who was with Channel 6 at the time, he put up some of your highlight tapes. And this was before YouTube, really before the internet, if I remember right. And it was just phenomenal. I remember one play in particular where I think you had returned a punt, and you were going down the sideline, and another player had a beeline for you, and you stopped. You were going full speed, and you stopped on a dime, and the guy just went zooming right by you out of bounds, and then you walked into the end zone from 5 yards out.
Yeah, actually, I was at the quarterback position at that time. I still remember the play.
Who were you playing?
Quarterback. We was playing Bibb County. We were playing Bibb County at Legion Field.
That's what I knew. I remember it being at Legion Field, and I remember seeing that play and thinking, okay, whatever it takes, that highlight alone, I want this guy on my team.
Yes, I was at quarterback, and it was raining that night, you know. And the rain helped me with that move. I was able to stop and slide a little bit, and the guy went right in front of me. Didn't touch me. Actually, at the same time, I was tie facing the guy while I was putting that move on that guy. So yeah, it was an awesome play. It was one of the biggest highlights of my career. Besides the Tennessee game.
Yeah, and maybe another game that stands out to me at least is the Colorado Blockbuster Bowl, where you had a punt return for a touchdown. And during that touchdown, I remember very vividly, you made one Colorado guy do the splits. And I don't know if his hamstring is recovered yet.
Yes, I had been working on that move. I stole that move from Saran Stacy, man. Saran, before he had got hurt, man, he was a tremendous ball player, and he also, when he came back off his injury, he was terrific. But I stole that move from Saran. I had been watching him the year before when I was in high school, and I watched him do that against LSU. So I worked on it, and I think I mastered it that game.
That was also the game where you had about 5 guys converge on you at one time as you were playing the Wildcat position, and somehow, some way, you got out of there. And I still, to this day, don't know how you did it, but it really was fun watching you play. I guess, do you ever look at Alabama now and think about the times maybe that Lane Kiffin's been the offensive coordinator, and now with Brian Dabble at the offensive coordinator helm, do you ever wonder what it would have been like to play for a guy who's a little more wide open?
Well, I'll do a lot of these shows like that, and that question has been asked a whole lot. How I feel about if Lane Kiffin was my coach instead of offensive coordinator instead of Mal Moore. Yes, the game is played a lot different now than it was when I was playing. Everything was so traditional, everything was smash mouth, and today, kids they're having fun. The coaches have open minds and they try anything. So, hey man, I can't tell you, how much success I would have had, but I think I would have had more success than I had at Alabama.
And that punt return against Miami, you had a big long return. Did you think you were going to score?
Man, and I'm still kicking myself in the tail about that. That should have been a touchdown, but I think me not scoring that touchdown, but it did give our team a big boost and gave us opportunity and let us know that we could play with those guys. Our defense was on that first series. Our defense was tremendous. They didn't hardly move the ball. I think they was 3 and out for the first 4 series. And so, hey man, I think that gave us a big boost. But I think I should have ran that back for a touchdown. I was very disappointed in myself.
It was definitely close. There's no doubt about it. Have you watched some of the other Alabama players who have been compared to you, like Tyrone Prothro or Javi Arenas, and really just had a smile on your face knowing that they're trying to emulate you?
Yes, I don't know if they would emulate me, but those guys got a chance to watch me play at Alabama. So most of them probably did emulate that game after me. And Tyrone, me and him got a chance to share some time together, and he told me his story. He played all the different positions that I played in high school, and also he wore number 2 in high school. So, hey, I think he watched a lot of film on me also, and he was a great talent, and I think he was the closest thing to me. And I'm sad that the accident that he had in the college, he didn't get a really chance to show his true talent.
There's no doubt about it. It's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. But let's talk about this camp that you have coming up that you're going to be a part of. Tell everybody what it is and who all is going to be involved.
Well, I just know myself and Brad Ford and Mr. Hutton are some of the guys that's going to be running the camp, helping out with the kids. We're just basically showing the kids the fundamental of football and showing them some of the things that God had blessed me with, and to show them the skills that I had.
And you were coaching at Huffman High School, and this next year, though, you're going to be somewhere new.
Yes, I'm going to be at coaching at GU Prep, Elite Prep Academy down in Tuscaloosa at Stillman College.
And this is a brand new school that the Good family has obviously been involved with.
Yes. This is their first year. They're coming into the program, so I think it's going to be a good experience for us all, and I think it's a great opportunity for kids that they can get a chance to go to Division I or any school because of their grades or what so. So I think it's going to be a golden opportunity for both of the kids and us.
I'm seeing some more highlights of you as we're talking, and I'm wondering, some of the kids you're coaching, some of the kids, let's say, for instance, last year from Huffman, they weren't even born, obviously, when you were playing in Alabama. Do they know about you and how elusive you were?
Actually, after the first day or two, they hearing the coaching staff talking about me and everything. They go home and tell their parents, "Oh, David Palmer out coaching." So then they get the news from their parents how awesome I was in college.
Oh, David, man, it's been an absolute joy, and thank you so much for helping out all the young people like you do. And really, you're one of my favorite players that's ever played at Alabama, and I've been following the Crimson Tide for quite some time. And you were just a phenomenal player, and really enjoyed watching you play.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a great night, okay?
Thanks for having me.
That was David Palmer, I'm telling you. Look, not short on confidence.
No.
Never was.
Their
But
parents told them how awesome I am.
But you know, let me tell you something. When he was what, 5'7", 100, and I mean, he'll probably say
he was
165.
150, yeah,
if he was
maybe.
150, he had two 20-pound weights on him, and all he did was go out there and make people miss him all the time. And he played. You know, it really is sort of a shame that his highlight tape isn't longer. But people don't understand, he didn't get the ball as much as he needed to. Stallings did his thing. Now, Stallings was very successful, but if David Palmer played for Lane Kiffin, he'd have won. They would have made a giant-size Heisman for him. It would have been remarkable. He was just incredible to watch. I remember being in the stands thinking, that guy isn't right. He isn't normal. And it's just, and I've seen some freakish athletes in this Saban era. But David Palmer, Prothro, and Javier Arenas, and Derek Thomas are still maybe the 4 best players I've seen at Alabama.
I wouldn't disagree with you. Up against a break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.